So, excuse me. We are ready for our next run, which is Shovel Knight by DarkCucco. Take it away. When Frosty has time to unmute him. Poor guy having to do tech and audio all on his own.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, Shovel Knight any percent today. I hope nothing too crazy for myself, but I'm not sure. I'm a bit rusty still and it was a long day. But I think I'm ready, so can I get a countdown?
3, 2, 1, go.
So first of all, I have to skip the cutscene. Cutscene skips in this game, super easy, just press start. And that was pretty much the least favorite outcome of that technique. We call it the drive-by shovel. I jump and strike at the dirt piles in the ground at the very same time. That way I can get money, and that was the optimal outcome. Can be between 1 and 11 gold. So I hope for a lot, but sometimes it is a little. Great. I have to take it a bit slow here. Yeah, that was too early. I could tell. This is the worst trick in the entire game when you learn it. It is the leap of faith, and there is no real audio or visual cue. You just have to do the jump. And this is how it should work. So, still at 50 gold, not a big problem. It's losing not too much time. Actually, when I started to learn this game, I did so for a tournament, and during my first race I failed the leap of faith 2 or 3 times, and the really impressive part was my opponent did the exact same.
Oh wow.
It was really strange. So, worst room in the entire game. You can really beat that room one-handed. All you have to do is hold down and right. So even though I'm rusty, I'm going for a technique that can save me up to 4 seconds. Or lose me a lot of time.
Speedrunner class.
What? Pogoing of the dragon, taking damage here. Okay, not saving the 4 seconds in general, but it looks cool. What? I was holding left, no idea why I wasn't going left. So the setup is pretty precise, but here we go.
Nice.
There are different rooms where you could do this. This is the only room where it actually works. What you do is you put yourself up so far out of bounds to the top that the game loses track of you, and then you hit the level entrance or the map entrance to the left. The game gets utterly confused, but by the way, that is the first boss of the game. He's a complete joke, you can stun lock him. Yeah, and when you're that far out of bounds, the game tries to reposition you. This is what you could see with the weird screen in between. So, for most parts I want to skip dialogue and cutscenes by spamming start, but I don't want to pause the game, which is easier said than done. And this soundtrack, Brightmore Key, it's amazing. Okay, this was a little bit slower backup. Loses me about a second, so not too bad. I know many runners say they can't get the backup if they fail the gentle hop at the start, which is the optimal way. But I found it to be pretty easy to get the backup. Downside, I take the full heart of damage, and currently I only have 4. And for most part of this run, this won't change. So another drive-by shovel here, this time for 6 gold, decent enough. And I want to have about 14 to 1500 gold when I reach the boss of this stage for money management with stuff I need to buy later on. So really good position for myself right now. Little damage boost for the Griffin here. Takes a long time to kill that guy. Usually, what was it? I think it is 8 or 10 hits to kill that Griffin. So it takes way too long to actually fight him. I think, yeah, no category at all kills that Griffin. Would lose a lot of, give you a bit of money for 100%. That could be nice, but there are better ways to get money. And in low percent, you need nothing. And that Griffin we can skip by attacking. And if the attack fails, you just take damage and damage boost through it. Yes!
Nice.
That is really important hit on King Knight. Yeah, one more is no problem. There we go. I don't want to pogo any boss if I can prevent it, because the level will not end before the boss and Shovel Knight touch the ground. So, best is to be on the ground when the boss gets the final hit. And now to solve the mystery which route I will use the Chaos Orb route. The game itself has 3 routes for any percent. The older Fire Rod route doesn't need so much money, but I can't pull it off. A few runners can and do. Most runners go for the Chaos Orb route for a long time. It's a good weapon. It is not that expensive and you can pretty much spam it even with 30 magic. Every single use costs 6 magic. And the orbs can hit multiple enemies multiple times. So, really good weapon. And the third route gets no weapon at all, which loses time on a lot of fights, but saves over 2 minutes by not going into town. So it's basically, if you're good enough, you can save the time, you will actually never lose it. Completely.
Quite ridiculous.
Yeah, only the best runners actually use the projectileless route. So, bit of a cycle skip for that room. There is a slightly faster strat that is a lot more difficult and saves like no time compared. And here's where the orb actually saves time for the first time. I can simply kill the 4 enemies. Don't have to wait. Don't have to trick them. Here I just throw that orb and I can walk. So that is why I love this route. Makes it really easy to get that cycle here. And in this room, this is the most RNG heavy room in the game, in my opinion. That frog can jump to the left, to the right, it can do short hop, long hop, and it's really annoying. With the orb, no problem. If it jumps towards you, you attack. If it jumps away, the orb attacks. And we don't need that checkpoint. Well, we could need it, but the money is actually needed. It's desperately needed. Because in the first part of the run, money management is very important. Which is why I will take my time to actually dig up a lot of money here. I have to wait for that platform either way.
Are the cycles global or are they?
They're local.
Okay.
These are local cycles. Global cycles we will have later on in everyone's favorite stage, the Explodatorium.
Oh. That sounds like quite the stage.
It is quite the boss. So, Spectre Knight. For Spectre Knight, I want to actually try to get hit and deal as much damage as possible early on. Okay. Yes. Okay. One more boss down, and I'm at 3,000 gold. That is really good. And this is what happens when you press start too early. I'm also trying to spam start, even if it's not doing anything because the dream sequence starts. Just to not forget it when I actually should start to skip the dreams, the steeping cutscene. Every 3 levels I get one of the dreams, like this one. And this one is a bit special because I actually want to get some money in here before I die. But after this, I want to die in every dream. So I'm going to grab the meal ticket. I will cash it in later to have some additional health to make the last stages a lot easier. I can highly recommend that if you're learning the game and for PB start to drop health a little bit step by step. So for example, I will go up to 7 health for marathon safety. In PB attempts, I would go for 5 health. It is just saving so much time to not die in the last few stages over and over again. In here we have maybe the worst trick in the entire game called Beetle Skip, which I can't pull off because the bird is gone, but I wouldn't have done that even if the bird was here. It saves like, I think it's 14 seconds. 3 times down for 15. But if you fail it, you lose at least half a minute. So instead, I'm taking the slow way, riding the beetle. Killed that guy, and that is one of the few times that you will see me attack one of the big guys to kill it. There are 2 others I can't skip because of the design of the game. There is the Alchemist in the Explodatorium, which is a required mid-boss. And there is the flying pirate ship way later. But for now, it's time to grab really good movement item. Dust Knuckle. Dust Knuckle pretty much makes it so that when I attack something and hit it, I get pushed forward while dealing damage. And right now you will see what I mean with that. I can do this. Completely skipping one of the movement puzzles here. What? Okay. This room requires actually some attention because of that guy. If he is not going for the poke, you can poke off of him. If you try to poke while he's charging up, you will most likely die because you hit the ground and the ground explodes. So it's right down into lava. And this isn't lava you can boost off. This is instantly killed lava.
Aw, no lava boosts.
No, not in this game, sadly.
Suddenly this game becomes a whole lot less fun for me.
But now we have a Mole Knight.
Wow, those orbs.
Yeah, the orbs are really useful here. And the Dust Knuckle Punch, just for good measure. Also, I'm already at the right relic for the next stage, which is the Explodatorium. Everybody waited for it. It's here. Yay! I'm really hyped. The problem is, this stage is on a global cycle and it really sucks. So the start is easy enough. And the music is good. Have to give it that. You just move, and when you step on the yellow flamethrowers, they will start to shoot at you. But you have a little bit of delay. Still should be fine. Okay, now I lost the global cycle already. Any hit there. So there actually is a strat to destroy that checkpoint for more money, but I'm so low on health, I'm not doing that. Especially as this part now is really dangerous. Not that. But that one. And this one.
Oh,
yeah. I love the movement there. But we can see one funny thing again. Well, two. First of all, the small enemy here, I just punched through. And secondly, I have the strongest legs in the known universe. I mean, look at this. Now I can take the damage boost. I was afraid of the damage from the boost because it could have killed me earlier. And this spider is no problem if you have more than one hit, one full health. Also, this part, usually that drops into the abyss. Not too bad. Taking a single hit isn't too bad. But now for the required mid-boss. And there he goes. Just taking the chicken for safety, and the blue flamethrowers, other than the yellow ones, are actually on the global cycle. But it's pretty easy to use this to your advantage because they are always acting the same. Don't need that guy. Using him for a faster strat. But again, that is a really difficult and dangerous strat. So instead, I'm going to take the slower way. What? And here we just decide to go ahead and skip a good part of the room with one good placed pogo. And again, the Chaos Orb. It is my main of attacking for a lot of things here. This will change later when I have the other relics I still need to buy. But now we have Plague Knight.
Well, this is actually awesome because I've seen this fight as Plague Knight and you fight Shovel Knight.
Yeah, and in both cases the fight is super annoying and not that easy usually. It's RNG heavy with Plague Knight because Plague has a lot of different movement patterns. And I was actually trying to learn the game blindfolded, but this fight put me completely off. There is no set pattern you can trust on.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst for blindfolded.
Yeah. It's pretty much take a guess. Wrong guess? Okay, try again.
By the way, are you wearing a skin or something?
Yeah, I'm using skin, my standard skin, the black and purple one. What? Oh no, I'm 200 gold short. That's not good.
Oh.
So I have the important part, the Conjurer's Code, which gives me 50 additional magic, and I take half a heart of damage more every time I get hit.
Oh.
That is the less nice part. But the positive part is I can actually spam my magic all I want. So I can use it to skip enemies. I can attack a lot more. And after this stage, I will have enough money to actually buy the missing upgrade, which is the charge attack for the shovel. It's nice to have here, but by no means necessary. Actually, for the most part, I don't use it.
I guess it just loses you time here to not have bought it already.
Yeah, it loses some time, that is the downside. But in a later stage, it's actually really useful. And it would make this mid-boss a lot easier. I forgot about him in the list of required mini-bosses. This is 420 fish. He has a semi-random pattern at the end. When we reach the platform where we actually fight him, which is over here. And we want him to go low, which he does. But he loves to stay up high. And yeah, 420 fish. There he goes.
I don't really get the 420 reference.
Yeah, it's a meme. Another damage boost here, and another one. Okay, that wasn't planned, the second one, but it worked. Ah, okay. there was a little money. Usually you can use the dirt to skip ahead and avoid taking a long tour. What? So I'm taking the safe approach because those torpedoes hurt. Over here, we want to hit him once. And I'm actually taking a safety checkpoint here, because the next part can be pretty scary. So that is anchor skip light. You can actually skip all of the anchors the way I did, which is a bit faster. But every anchor you miss is instant death. So not good. I take the little slower approach, but I can still skip parts of the anchors. And if I miss, I will still die. So next up we have Big Daddy, I mean Treasure Knight. But look at him, he comes right out of Bioshock.
Yeah. Almost expect little girls too.
Oh yeah, great.
Oh.
It is the worst possible pattern if he decides to go up there. And I think I'm dead. Nope.
Oh.
1.5 heart. He has one of the hardest hitting attacks. We try to hit his body if we get hit at all, because that only deals 1 heart of damage instead of 1.5. So, second dream, and this time around I have the advantage of the Conjurer's Code, which means I take a lot more damage and I want to die. Great combination. So, first up, this dream is actually the worst, because it's a bit RNG dependent. We have the knights and they can decide when they attack you. What? Okay, and now for the last hit, it doesn't matter, because everything will deal 1 full heart of damage. So if the knights decide that they don't like you, they won't attack. Or if they like you, I don't know, but we don't want that. So on the map, there are a few moving NPCs. Those are mini levels and mid bosses, like Reese we see there. He got patched not too long ago by Yacht Club Games. He used to go everywhere on the map, and when he went to the right side he could block your path, and it was awful. It was the worst. They actually support the speedrunning community a lot, so they decided to patch that and make him move to the left. We used to call it Get Reased, because you had to fight a mini-boss, which in itself would be bad enough, but to make things worse, you fight him. It will actually trigger the other mini-bosses. So when I don't kill him, I have 1 hour in-game time until the other bosses spawn.
Oh.
After 1 hour, they will spawn, no matter what I do. So by avoiding Reese, we actually save a lot of trouble. Because the other bosses are not patched. There is no reason to patch them. Actually, one negative part about the patch is the hundo category for this game, where you have to fight all the mini bosses. Now you have to chase him down at times. Oh,
You can't have it both ways.
yeah. And there goes the ship.
By the way, how well optimized is the speedrun right now?
It is insanely optimized, especially the any percent category. What? Didn't press up. The current world record is 42 minutes and I want to say 50 seconds? I'm not entirely sure. By Smoggy, who holds the world record in Shovel Knight for a very long time by now.
Oh wow.
There's a reason. What? I don't have enough money for the... Oh, that is really bad. How can I get the money I need? That's not enough. Okay, I have to do a backup here, which takes a bit of time, unfortunately, but I can get the money. I need 4,000 gold at this point, and I'm not sure where I missed it. But it doesn't matter. What? Okay, this is also how it's supposed to look. Same for this part. And this beetle skip here actually skips nothing. It's not even saving time. And that's because of the cycles in the level. But yeah, to the optimization of this game, Smoggy is currently the only runner able to go sub 43 in this game. And for the longest time, he was the only runner with a sub 44 time.
Wow.
So it was competition for the second place. And still pretty much is.
That is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it is absolutely. But Smoggy is insanely good and also really cool dude. He put a lot of work into the run. Actually tested which strategies are useful, which relics we could get, which we should skip.
Also for the less difficult routes, or?
This is the, or you mean the Flame Rod and Orb route? Yeah. He used to run the Orb route for the longest time. Also holding world record with a sub 44 with the Orb. So it's not losing a lot of time. He ran a bit of the other route, Flame Rod one. I always have problems with this one.
Yeah, it doesn't look easy.
It is god awful. So what I'm supposed to do is get off this thing and hit that block over there with the dust knuckle. Okay, I'm going for the other version. Yeah, okay. I killed the enemy, that is the important part. Yeah, that was one of the tricks I was afraid of. Because it's hard enough. This is triple Java room. There's the green guys here, and they actually look like Javas from Star Wars. And we hate them. They are really bad.
Yeah.
Their entire existence is based around getting on your nerves. That's all they do. They come in close, they push you back, and usually there are bottomless pits around. So at this point, I'm going to have a quick break. Usually you can leave one of the blocks here. I don't care about that. If you start too early, it gets super hard. You're not saving any time. And it's not so unlikely that you will die. So, yeah, better not to. And while a lot of people will argue this is the best song in the game, I disagree. Also, I'm taking the safe strat here. Which means taking a lot of cycles on this room because I got the checkpoint. But every spike would kill me instantly.
It's a marathon run after all.
And there I went too early. That can happen. And that happens quite a lot actually. And not only with me, but with a lot of people running this game.
It definitely doesn't look like a very easy speedrun to do well in.
It is a pretty challenging game, but as a speedrun it's not so bad. There are really good guides how to learn the run. And a lot of the strats make the game a lot easier. Like casually, most players never use the Chaos Ult, and that's not a good idea. Because it's an amazing weapon, except for this boss. And yeah, I'm just using the propeller dagger here.
Wow.
So now for the harder part of this fight. Come on. Please, yes. I actually want this for the safety. You go all the way to the left, you can't drop down that pit, and he can't hit you with his saber. But Propeller Knight actually is quite a challenging boss, casually and in the speedrun. We will see him later again. Also, no money problems anymore. The next relic you can buy with the money you get from Propeller Knight. It is the last relic we buy in the speedrun. And it is another interesting relic for movement. Especially in this level, you will see me put it to really good use. So, Dust Knuckles and Propeller Dagger both deal good damage at times, and both are really good for moving in certain areas. Like Dust Knuckle whenever there are blocks in my way. And I wanted to say I got really good RNG, but nope. It was only decent. So I'm leaving that pot there completely knowing that it's there because I want to grab it when I return from here. This is a very magic heavy part of the game. And it's not getting any better now. Oh, also, with my current armor, the Conjurer's Code, every enemy will drop magic when I kill it.
That's useful.
And this is a new relic, the gear, and it allows me to completely skip this auto-scroller.
The best kind of relic.
Yeah, it's super useful. Safety health over here. I was actually at a point where I could have said I don't need it. But again, marathon run. Better to grab it.
Exactly, you can never be too safe in a marathon.
Yeah, I skipped the safety checkpoint. That was the main reason to not skip the safety health. Because the early part of this auto-scroller can kill you. But as soon as the daggers are gone, it is pretty hard to die. Still possible, I could drop down, but that would be on me not paying any attention. So, here we go. That is the auto-scroller. The first part is really awful with the dagger missiles, because they hit you on the ladder, you drop down, you're dead. And boss time, Tinker Knight. Tinker Knight is the most challenging boss in the game, as you saw. Really, if you don't have the gear, this boss is no joke. It's insanely hard.
Oh wow. It almost
Phase
feels
2.
like a Mega Man boss.
Yeah, it is inspired by Mega Man bosses. What? Okay. Getting up again. There actually is a quick kill for him, but as long as you're not sub 50 minutes with your PB, pretty much every runner tells you just wait a little bit. Get a better PB, train your movement, will help more. And here he goes. It saves another 10 seconds maybe, so it's not worth it if you're at 1 hour 10 minutes as a PB. 10 seconds is nothing.
I feel like in most games there's like one or two strats that most people will tell you like, don't do that just yet.
Yeah. And now for the usual stuff. An ice level.
Yay, ice physics!
Actually, the ice physics in this game are kind of okay. I don't really mind them. Yeah, sure, you slide around a little bit, but as you see, the enemies do too, which is pretty hilarious.
Oh, that poor wolf.
Oh yeah, that one. That one is way worse because he just goes off the cliff.
Oh.
And here is a clip that's, or a skip that only works on the console versions and on the PC version if you have VSync enabled, which is one of the two reasons why every one of us on PC is running with it. The second one is the rules required.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the rules to keep it fair. I don't feel like trying to skip here. It's an easy skip, but not so sure. And it loses like no time compared to the second skip I did there, which is a way harder version. By the way, in the blocks, if there is magic, it's always there. Oh, wrong item. Oops. Yeah, I am taking the safety here because the next room, or the next couple of rooms, have killed me multiple times. Oh, there goes the wolf. And that went okay. So now I don't have the health for the damage boost. I'm pretty sure. That dragon is getting punched in the face. Because why not? And remember the gear being super useful in that one auto-scroller? Yeah, well, we're doing the same thing again. But this time around, it's a bit more difficult because of that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I released the swing too early, but that is why I grabbed the checkpoints. So, it's not too bad. Also, this is the damage boost I was talking about. At least I could show that off. It's actually pretty funny because you just run into one of the guys and bounce off the other one's head. And here we go, Polar Knight. Polar Knight, like Treasure Knight, actually is really weak to the orbs. I don't mess up. He is also one of the really dangerous bosses.
Yeah.
He has instant kill moves, which didn't hit me. But he also has a lot of damage going on.
Also seems to move quite erratically.
Yeah, he's moving quite a bit. But here he goes.
Nice.
The advantage of the Chaos Orbs is they are hitting him multiple times because his hitbox is so big. 9,000 gold, I think I can buy 2 magic upgrades with that. Which is more than enough. So, last stream of the game, 47 minutes. That's okay for me, given how rusty I am.
And how much safety you're taking as well.
Yeah, and that I'm quite a bit tired by now.
It is quite late here, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are watching from the US.
But I think I prepared pretty well today by relaxing for this. I mean, I played a good bit before practicing a few fights and stuff like that, but the last 3 hours before runs, I tend to actually try to relax, not focus too much on the run. So, fast traveling in this game. Catapult Airlines.
The perfect method.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the meal tickets I bought are coming in quite handy. So 3 more healths for free and a little bit of magic. 9, I'm actually not sure, nope. So I'm skipping that music sheet, and that has a very specific reason, which will come up in 2 stages from now on. And now the best music in the game to me. I love this soundtrack. The entire game soundtrack is awesome. But if I had to pick one song in particular, that would be my pick.
It's quite good, yeah.
Not saying that the people who say the airship is the best are wrong. It's just not what I think is best.
I mean, everyone's got their own tastes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all good music, so...
So, Crusher segment. Let's see how it goes. Usually, for me, this goes super well. I know some runners say this is one of the hardest parts of the run, and it actually is a bit challenging. If you know what you're doing and if you're taking it carefully, like I did there, because I noticed I would get stuck, you don't die. And with all the health I have, I can take damage boosts here, which is quite helpful. So, at this point we're getting introduced to the drop ninjas, awful enemies, and this is a pixel perfect jump.
Wow, nice.
It's actually not that hard to line yourself up, but if you mess up the input for the relic after that, it's straight down and try again. This game controls super nicely, and that is one of the main reasons why it is easy to line yourself up for that. Even though this game has a super useless move at the very same time. Again, taking it safe. This Java over there can go in 3 ways. It can ignore you, which is good. It can kill you, or it can boost you, which it does about 5% of the time. And most of the time you die because you don't expect it, and you're trying to correct, which is not working anymore. So Black Knight 3. Black Knight 2 is skip. In general, the same skip as before works, but the window is super tight. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have the magic. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm decently far to the right. And it was a first try kill, which isn't what happens all the time. So, onwards to the other parts of the Tower of Fate. Without dream sequences now. There are no dreams anymore. No sleep, just a tower.
No dreams,
Yeah.
only tears.
Yeah. And now is a good time to talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Shovel Knight used to be one of the biggest adventurers in the lands. He and his girlfriend? Friend? It's never said, actually. Shield Knight, they one day tried to explore the Tower of Fate. And Shield Knight got lost in there and Shovel Knight had to retreat. After that, he stopped being an adventurer and started to work on a farm. I mean, he had the right tools. And that's actually no joke. He is seen in the beginning cutscene working on a farm. So, when the lands are again in danger and need help, be defended from the Order of No Quarter, actual name, which I think is a cool name, he picks up his shovel again to stop them and the Enchantress, who controls the Order of No Quarter. And all the time, leads up to the Tower of Fate, and you see it in the background in some of the stages. Like the very first stage has it in the background. The entire game builds up for this. And now you're at the point where you're climbing the tower. You're ready to take the fights to the Enchantress. And I messed up. I wanted to grab that music sheet. I got it.
Nice.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
sure if it's worth anything, but
500 gold if I would sell it, but this one is more for the memes and for the fact that it's actually free to pick it up.
yeah.
Because we're again in an auto-scroller, but a bit of a different one. You will see that in a few seconds. At the very end of this auto-scroller, there is something really funny when I don't die. What? I was holding left. That was interesting.
Game, please.
So I don't need to pick up the music sheet again. It stays in my inventory, even when I die. What? I was clearly on the ladder, right?
I think so.
It's dangerous to jump off that ladder. You jump off ladders, you get faster. But if you jump too early, you drop down. I think I was off the ladder. So I'm switching to the D-pad right now. To have more control over the pogo, which I usually don't need. Yeah, there you see no music sheet. We call it the Maestro sheet, after one of the other runners, who also was my first opponent in the tournament, and coincidentally the guy who made the guide I used to learn the speedrun. But yeah, pretty much known for using the bard in the village as his avatar picture on Discord and stuff like that. So being associated with the music of this game so much, and I got the skin, by the way.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah,
You're basically on top of the auto-scroller.
yeah, you can skip ahead by jumping where the blocks will appear, because they actually only appear when they are on screen. They are not massive before, so
So you just kind of zip up or something.
yeah, I walk up.
Oh.
jump up. Okay, first off, we have Mole Knight for the refights. And the special part about the boss refights is every time I defeat a boss... Oh, this is really good RNG.
So it's random which one appears.
Yeah. One thing isn't random, and I will mention that right after Plague Knight. Because I need to focus on this fight. Yes! Okay, the third boss now I can tell is Polar Knight. Polar Knight is always one of the first three because of his instant kill spike move. The developers decided it would be very cheap to have that one at the very end of the boss rush. Because the spikes here would instantly kill me if I hadn't taken damage before.
Yeah. That's actually really well designed from them.
Yeah, it's actually nice to give the insta move later, not later on. Sadly, no ceiling this time, so I can't pogo off of him like in the first fight. Ouch.
Good question. When you use a charge attack, do you get invincibility frames?
No, but I get double damage.
Ah, okay. Because you seem to be like hitting them inside of them.
Oh yeah, that is when I hit an enemy, I actually can't get hit by them. By every other enemy, yes, not by them. So I used that before as well without the charge. But it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Who is left? Oh. One RNG heavy bot that can take some time and one difficult boss. Because last time with Polar Knight I actually just got lucky. I want to land near... Oh yeah, and Propeller Knight, of course. How can I forget about him? Sorry. So I want him to go to the other side, basically. This is bad RNG when he moves to the same side. But I can take the fight nice and slow. He will turn everything dark now. Now spawn some skeletons, which I actually want to use. But usually all of them give magic. That was what I wanted to use. But apparently only the top ones do. So, good amount of damage on him. And he starts to suck in all the bombs, which I think is pretty nice of him.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, we have our good old friend, the Big Daddy himself. And yeah, while I would usually ask, should I save or kill the knights, this time around there is no choice. They will die, all of them. Yeah, I'm going to take damage, that isn't a problem. Ah, this is where I lost the money, 500 gold. Yeah, I would save King Knight, I would save Polar Knight, because I love Polar Knight. Oh, first was Mole Knight. Okay, I'm going to save Mole Knight. Because with drive-by shoveling, this costs no time at all. The first one is free to save. This is why I save some of them. But Plague Knight? No. No.
I don't know. I find the Plague Knight speedrun quite enjoyable to watch.
Sure, but in this run, he's awful. For the next room, we have a tile room. And the interesting part, you can stand at any point in this room, basically. But pretty much every runner chooses this platform. And when you ask, the answer is always the same. We don't know why we do this. It's just how we used to do this. So, yeah, this is how it goes. Also with the additional magic, I can be super reckless here. And time for a quick ride. And this is, by the way, is the ducking animation.
What?
1 pixel down. It is amazing. Completely worth it. And we have the Enchantress. Yeah, I'm going to die. The fight didn't start off as good as I liked. I had lost 2 healths already because I kind of messed up in the tile room. But the advantage, I don't have to press start again. The Enchantress will automatically spawn in here. And one of her ways of fighting is destroying the ground and creating new ground with fire. So she will start her dive bombs again. What? I released the attack there. Okay. Different strats this time around. Not trying to hit her with the gear, which deals a good amount of damage. The only reason why I did that. Instead, it's going to be the good old trusty Chaos Orbs. Come on. Ah! Ouch. So creating the entire ground again. What? Okay. The advantage is the fight after that one, the second phase of the boss, actually is decently easy. But this can happen. Okay. So this is enough ground, okay. Wrong relic. There's 3 more health. What? Okay, this should be an iframe, by the way. Hitting the enemy, as I said, gives iframes. This is why I switched to the color gear. So we will dive bomb now.
No.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. So at least I got 1 additional hit in. And now you will see the fire is a bit bigger than before. Depends on how much damage I deal to the enchantments. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
So we're getting close to the end of the run. But first of all, spoiler warning. The Enchantress actually is Shield Knight. And now comes in the entire practice on the dreams. Usually you jump up and try to catch her. And we're now in phase 2 of the Enchantress fight. Time is on the last hit on the boss. Please, this hand. Yes! 2, 3. What? 1, 2, time. So, the Enchantress is defeated, but she just killed Shovel Knight. Shield Knight protects Shovel Knight and us, Black Knight, to get him out of there while the entire place is collapsing. And everyone sees the tower is collapsing. That is a part I will quickly skip. There's one thing I want to show. Not how Black Knight brings Shovel Knight to the lock here. There is, in the credits, I can fast forward them. There is something by the developer, a little nod towards the speedrunning community and the Kickstarter backers. But here we have it. The current any percent speedrun world record.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool. And yeah, that is Shovel Knight with the lovely end here. Shield Knight made it out of the tower. She's going to rest at Shovel Knight's side at the campfire while we get the classical text at the end. I mean, how else are we supposed to know that this is the end of the game? Yeah, for this game currently there are 2 DLCs with Plague Knight and Spectre Knight. Later this year we will get King Knight with King of Cards as the 4th and last DLC. That will be something very interesting. So, but on the side of Shovel Knight, that's it. I think next up is Cruel with Evil Land 2.
That is correct.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Thank you very much for that wonderful Shovel Knight run, DarkCucco. Always nice to have some shoveling in here.